to them different language because first of all, not only that we look alike, but our passion and our DNA is the same. We like to provide the best service to serve everyone. A little bit furthermore for the Filipinos and the Filipinas is you actually more fun. So that is actually make it a little bit more exciting to provide these kind of services to the market. The other thing that is actually very, very critical for Philippines that not many other countries in this part of the world have is your capabilities on your language as well, right? You're actually very good in international arena because you can communicate very well. English is your first language, in fact, not even considered second, I think. And also the other thing is your attitude. Right. Your attitude is a lot of people from the Philippines like to work overseas for some good reason. All right. That is actually become your culture. So if you send some of your child or the family's member to work overseas, that's your pride, and that's what we need. We want to bring the skill, this kind of gracious hospitality, to the world to see, and Philippines will help us bring that to the world. I just, talking to, a little group that just now about when I travel. If I go to the Middle East, I go on a cruise line. I go into everywhere in Europe, in America. I will surely see Filipinos and Filipinas in the service area, and you did represent your country very well. Why we choose, and that's the reason. And this is actually going to be our first project that we like to fully integrate between hospitalities, hotel management, and the college. It's going to be the fully integrated kind of project with a very design to deliver a very, very high standard with the support of our partner from EHL. Right? I couldn't even pronounce the full names correctly. I will try. École, hôtelière de Lausanne. I'm not sure whether it's good enough. But this is actually the group that I admire personally. Not because I'm actually in front of them, but can you imagine a group, the education group, which actually I would consider as the most disruptive industry today. Right? Because whatever you teach today in the school is no longer valid in the future. That is actually what we are facing today. This group, I don't consider them as an oldest. I would say them the first. They're actually the first hotel management school in the world, and they've been around for 126 years. What's significant and what important is that they're reinventing themselves, that they're still very, very relevant and influential in this education segment. And as Frau Gay just mentioned, if you Google search, they're actually #1 ranking in the world in terms of the hospitality management. So who can have a better partner? So we're actually very proud that we were supported by our partner EHL, and you will also meet the executive, the president, and the CEO to mention about what they see in this project. And the other element that I have to mention here is local. The local content. This project, this school will not be success if we don't have a very critical component with actually a local influencer, the local partner. And I'm so lucky as well that I have the congresswoman with me here, Miss Camille Villa. I don't know whether I pronounced your last name correctly, but the Villa group, as she knows, and she would say, I'm not going to steal the thunder from her. But with her presence and with her support for this project, I'm sure whatever we do, we will always incorporate the local requirement and the local interest at our core delivery services. So that is actually where I believe something that is quite unique about this project. So again, welcome everyone, and I'm thankful for this. I know that you don't like to come early, but you come. So I really, really appreciate every one of you to attend to this project. I'm not saying that we are here to improve or make the education for hospitality management better, because this country has a good education hospitality management. What we try to do is we like to complement and bring your credential and your potential for the world to see. So that is actually what we are here for. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this session.
Thank you very much, If we can call on our panel to join her, may we please call back Ms. Frauke Grubitz, Managing Director for Dusit Hospitality Management College, the President of Board of Governors for EHL, Mr. Andre Vichy, Chief Executive Officer of the EHL Group, Professor Michelle Rochon, and of course, Managing Director for Vista Land, the Honorable Congresswoman Camille Villar.
Bantay sa ano. Sorry.
All right, our panel is ready to take questions. I will bring the mic to you, whoever is ready. We'll do photos first, shall we? Choose your phone of choice, yes?
Sorry. Wonderful. Sorry.
Okay, we'll make sure we hashtag that. We are at BHFC_Manila. All right. Anyone for a question?
If anyone has no questions right now, because you're probably still confused or you understand everything, let me be your moderator today. All right, and then, if you like to add more questions, then let's be that way. Let's make it casual, all right? Let me start first, because just now we mentioned a little bit about our key partner here. Let me start off with our executive, the president, and also the CEO of EHL to say a few words about what you see in this project, that you see the potential, or what you like to mention about this project a little bit in your own words.
Thank you, Super Chief. I think the first thing is that we have a long-lasting, I would call it almost friendship, of working together and doing education together. So that is one point. The second point is the world tourism is growing year for year. In the next years, 5%. It's extremely strong here in Asia. So there is a tremendous, huge market which will grow and grow faster and faster. And therefore, we have to do education to manage this growth. And together with partners, it is much easier to do it than on our own. The Philippines are since a while on our landscape, but we didn't manage to come here until we had the support from Dusit. Thank you. I don't know, Michelle? Yes.
You were kind enough to mention that we are ranked #1, so thank you so much. But to be ranked #1, you don't have to stay in a bubble. You have to share. You have to connect people. You have to learn with new experiences. And in this school in Manila, something new is coming. It's a way to have a mix of a hotel or school. Is something which will bring a huge added value to young people. And there is a lot of young people in this country looking for a job. And the potential of the school, the potential of the system, one team, one organization, is something which is going to be a world benchmark. And I have to say that I love that system.
Thank you so much for the insightful and also the very good comment. Let me turn to Ms. Congresswoman, Ms. Milas, to mention a little bit. Just now I mentioned about the importance of local, because this project is not international project. it is international project in the way of the standard, the world class, the qualities that we like to add and complement what the country already have seen the potential. But the local ingredient is very, very important. So I'd like to ask you to mention a few words on what you see in this project, why the Vienna Group see the potentials and like to supporting on this project, please.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, we're very proud to be part of this project. As you know, the Villar Group, we started in real estate, and then we have started to diversify. But the one thing that all of our endeavors, the one thing that all of our projects have in common is the commitment of bringing the best of what we've seen around the world to the Philippines, to the Filipinos, because we have always felt that the Filipinos deserve that. So in all our projects, whether it be in housing, whether it be in retail, in hotels, in schools, it's all about making sure that the Filipinos have access to the best that the world has to offer. And I believe, and we as a family and as an organization believe, that in terms of hospitality management and schools, we could not have found two better partners than the Dusit Group and of course, École, hôtelière de Lausanne. These are both organizations that we have long admired in their fields, and it is an honor to be a part of a group that has a venture in the Philippines. On our part, we hope to, and we're dedicated to putting our best to make sure that this project is a success. And we are very proud to be part of the group that brings this to the Philippines, because we really believe that Filipinos should have access to the best of what the world has to offer. And in the same manner, it was really beautiful what you said, that we also want to introduce the Filipinos to the world, and so that we can showcase how good we can be in whatever field. And we'd like to thank all of you for allowing us to achieve that.
Thank you so very much. It's very kind of you. And I think you now probably want to know a little bit about this school. Why is it unique? Why is it special? I already mentioned a little bit about the programs, that it's going to be our first intent to fully integrate between hotels and education, that designed to support an international, the world-based standard. So what is actually the design of the programs that is that unique? And I think the best person who can mention about these details could be Ms. Frauke German.
Thank you, Kunsubaji. As I mentioned before, the uniqueness of the project is the fact that the education is integrated into the hotel operations. And if you look at educating young people to prepare them for careers in hospitality, it is not only about sitting in a classroom and learning, because we all know that what you learn in a textbook doesn't mean that you'll be effective on the floor. And what we've been able to do here in terms of the curriculum, which is a 4-year Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management, also recognized by CHED, the Commission of Higher Education here in the Philippines, is that because we have the facilities of the operations, if we look at educating future managers and leaders, it is about technical skills, but we also want to prepare them for supervisory skills and for managerial roles. And having the Dusit Hotel here at our disposal means that we can offer a bachelor program that is grounded in what we call work-based learning. And that work-based learning means that from day one, our students are actually already active and working in the different outlets and departments that are part of the Dusit Hotel. So the Dusit D2, the fort, has 8 F&B outlets, which our students will work in both service as well as the kitchens. They will also work in front office, and what I find personally very important, they will also work in housekeeping, because in a hotel, one of the key products is also the quality rooms that have to be clean. And we've always said, for you to learn to be a good manager, you have to know what it's like to work on the floor. So yes, our students will also be cleaning rooms. But that is at the very beginning of their education. What makes this project also unique is we will focus on educating what we call the leadership skills. So the supervisory skills, the management skills that will prepare them for management roles in the hospitality industry. And that is also what makes it unique, because in the first year, our students will work in their operations. But in the last 2 years, years 3 and year 4, they will also be under guidance, exposed to supervisory roles, and they will work in the outlets as restaurant supervisors and front desk supervisors. And that under the guidance of EHL trained faculty, as well as our faculty members here. So really focusing on what makes it successful, or what makes a successful manager. And we all know that it's not only about technical skills, how to make a bed, but it's particularly about interpersonal skills. And that is also what makes this program unique, is focusing on the interpersonal elements, what we call the teamship and the leadership skills that will really prepare the students for their careers in the hospitality industry, not only here in the Philippines, but here in the region and even beyond Asia, because that is what we believe the Filipinos have the potential for it to develop into.
It's great. I think now you probably can see a little bit more. But I'd like to add what Franke just mentioned. Maybe you have questions in mind. So does this mean that the students that come to this program would only be exposed to the Dusit D2, the fort? Can you answer this question? Because in the real world, they actually have to be in the real, actual, other kind of hotel as well. Can you also mention about this a little bit?
Yes, and thank you for asking that question, because that is indeed very important. It is what we said earlier. If we stay in the bubble here in the fort, it's a fantastic place, but the world is a lot bigger. And to learn also, and to utilize what you learn here in the classroom, you also have to put into practice elsewhere. And for that reason, if you look at our program, it is a 4-year program, which comprises 8 semesters, and in semester 4, our students are asked to go on an internship outside of the Dusit D2 hotel. So that can be an internship here in Manila, but it can also be elsewhere in the Philippines, or even elsewhere in Asia, or elsewhere in the world. And we actually have 3 students who will be starting their internship in January, and they're looking at doing their internship in Japan and in Hong Kong.
Wow.
And that international experience combined with guidance from us, coaching from us, so it's a controlled learning experience that will also really contribute to developing the future managers of the hospitality industry.
Thank you, Farge. And a little bit about Dusit, as I did mention just now when I mentioned about the whole program. One of the things is that we also see from the hotelier point of view, from the hospitality provider, hotel operators point of view, Philippines also have a very good potential for us as the hotel operator. I'm not sure whether you were aware that we actually been in this country for 22 years. I think, being around in Philippines for quite some time. And I'm not sure whether you're aware that right now we're operating 5 hotels in Philippines. The one in Makati is probably the one that you're familiar the most, because it's in the center of the city and it's been around for 22 years. This would become, open very soon. I didn't even count it in the 5. We do now have another 3 in Lausanne, and also we open another one in Mactan, Cebu this year. And what important is also we have 9 to open in the pipeline around in the Philippines, more in Davao, more in Cebu, and also more in Lipa, Batangas. I'm not sure whether I even pronounce it correctly. And 2021 is actually not far from now. The Philippines will be the largest cluster of Dusit in Asia. Right now, we do have 271 properties around in 14 countries, in the Asia, Middle East, Africa, and in America. We have one properties, very nice one in Guam, and I welcome you all to visit Guam sometimes. It's a lovely properties that we have there. But the Philippines will become the largest cluster in Asia with that plan. So therefore, I see a lot more potential. And the reason that I'm very, very appreciative and also feel honored that I have a partnership with the Vienna Group is because of their real estate experience and the retail. Because moving forward in the world of this segment, the standalone properties may not optimize the potential. We consider a little bit about mixed use between hotel, residences, retail, in order for us to optimize what we can offer. And so therefore, you probably heard about our flagship project in Bangkok, that we invest about 1.2 billion US dollars to build the mixed use between hotel, residential, office building, and retail. And who else can I partner with if not the Vienna Group? So we learn from each other on, they probably want to participate and understand more and support us on the hotels and the education side. We also like to learn more from the group for the residential and also the retail space. And we can obviously see how we can integrate even further in the future. So I guess I kick off some of the questions for you, since you seem to be a very quiet group. Any questions from the floor?
Hello, good morning. I'm Ellie from My Wonder Mom. I just want to ask, as an aspirational success story, what would be the nugget of advice that you would give our young students?
Well, I think because the people who've been here longest in hospitality education, I'd like to ask them to say a few words, because I know Mr. Rocha has more than 3,000 students enrolled, aspiring hoteliers and hospitality managers at École in Lausanne. So may I ask you to give a few words of advice, Professor Rocha?
Yes, please. That's very easy. Let me give you 3 tips. Students, they have to work, and to work. Yes. No, indeed. More. Yes. Indeed. No. Students, they have to be passionate. If you want to do a service métier, you have to work a lot. You have to learn a lot. You have to be open-minded. You have to share. You have to speak many languages. You have to understand the others. You have to be proactive. All these things today are values that young generation are looking for. And to be a young lady, young man starting a career in the service métier today, trust me, this is the best thing to do, because there is a lot in front. The market is growing, and you know, every time you exchange with other people, you enrich yourself with that experience, and that is wonderful. That is wonderful.
And may I ask, because I believe the person here sitting with us who has most experience in hospitality and with the longest hospitality career is the president of CEO. Mr. Ritchie, can I ask you, as the most experienced grandfather, if I may, to give a few words of advice?
Make me not you're older than I am. Yes, you're true. I have more than 60-year experience in this industry because I grew up in the industry. Since, let's say, my first day in life, I was in this industry. And I had always fun in this industry, and I liked to be there. And you know, I didn't make a plan when I was young, like many of our students are today, that I one day might be president of the school or whatever I've done in my career. But I took it step by step, you know. And the most important thing, whatever I've done, I like to do it and I wanted to do it good. and I was not planning. I said, today I do a good job, and the rest comes automatically. It is true, this industry has a lot of opportunities, and if you go in this industry, you have a big chance to have a successful professional life. Either in the industry, but there is also around the industry, which I think elements where you can work very much, because the talents you need for hospitality is you have to be able to handle and to be together and to give joy to people. And if you don't like people, don't go in this industry.
I think also I like to hear personally from the local. I like to hear from the Congresswoman as well. What you'd like to send the message to the young generation of the Filipinos and Filipinas about the critical success factors, or what you'd like to give them some word of advice?
As a member of the youth as well. No, you know, my father, so I guess the whole organization, the one thing that probably, the thing that we live by is really that nothing in life can be achieved without hard work and perseverance. And so I just wanted to remind our young students that in whatever endeavor that you have, it really does require work, hard work, and perseverance. It's not easy. It's very challenging, in fact. But what's important is that after every challenge, you learn and you get up and you continue. And I think that's something you should carry on throughout your whole life. That being said, we are very, very optimistic about the Philippines, in large part because of our very young, dynamic, and population, and you are all a part of that. The Philippines' prospects is bright because of you. So always remember that. Work hard, and that there's nothing that you are not going to be able to do. And also, it's about time that the rest of the world sees what Filipinos can do.
Very good. If I may just add a little bit from what others just mentioned, I think I will leave with three things for the young and the students. I think you have to start with clear purpose. All right, because as everyone here said, it's going to be hardworking the journey. So therefore, and in any industry, also hospitality is included. So if you start with clear purpose and you have passion, like Mr. Vichy just mentioned, if you have passion on what you do, then you can overcome the challenge very, very easy. And last but not the least, I think you need to be bold and be brave of who you are, and don't have to create any imaginary glass ceiling above of you, because I don't think that's there. It's in your mind. So if you be bold and be brave, start with purpose, have passion, I'm sure that you can overcome any challenge in front of you. And I see the same thing as the Congresswoman just mentioned, that the Philippines has a lot more potential to show to the world.
Okay, we have a question back here from Ms. Didi Sitanco of Manila Bulletin. Ms. Didi?
Actually, it's more a suggestion. But first of all, congratulations to everybody up there. Your school is very impressive, and your presentation is good. I was just going to make a suggestion to Congresswoman Villar. We've always been known to be exporters of hospitality and in service personnel, right? Cruise ships and everything else, and even now, especially now in the hotel business, hotel and restaurant business. But we don't have any, at this point, we don't have any formal accreditation for people going abroad, actually representing us, to work abroad. So I'm trying to say is like seamen have to take exams, right? And have to be certified. I didn't realize that the Dusit group here in the Philippines is so big. and so influential. So I was just thinking maybe this could be a start of a government program, of a, in cooperation with the government, to accredit those that we send abroad. Because it is a fact that sometimes we send abroad people who are not trained well. And it's a blot to our image and also to the entire industry. So maybe I was thinking while you were all discussing this, now that you have a fantastic school and a fantastic cooperation with the Dusit group, maybe you can start an accreditation program. Of course, some workers will say this is just another red tape. But no, this is something very important. They'll be servicing. Nurses who are sent abroad are accredited, doctors and all that. Why not hotel people? Why not the industry? Why not the restaurant workers and all that? Anyway, this is a suggestion from me. But again, congratulations to those in the up there. It has been very enlightening, this breakfast conference. And the food was very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Levy.
Thank you very much for that suggestion. That's definitely something that we can consider moving forward.
I really like your suggestion, and I completely agree with you. We do not need more red tape here in the Philippines, but to contribute to recognizing the quality of Filipino workers representing the Filipinos abroad, I definitely think that is something that with Congresswoman Villar, I'll be happy to discuss further.
Yes, good morning and congratulations to everyone. We'd like to know what is your vision for the aspiring hoteliers here in the Philippines? Thank you very much. The vision for the Philippines or the vision of my group? The aspiring is the potential, as we already mentioned. The other thing is also opportunities. That we see that we can capture this opportunity with this setup. So that is aspiring us to come up with this project. And I probably not need to repeat how significant Philippines to us in the group, and also the potential elements of the country itself.
So my vision for aspiring hoteliers, because I started my career in the hospitality industry, and I worked in hotels in the Caribbean, in Amsterdam, the country where I'm originally from. And I grew up in Jakarta, not too far from here, so I've had the opportunities and been fortunate enough to travel around the world. And before, when I was traveling and growing up, and even until recently, it doesn't matter where you go in the world, you will always come across, and when you stay in hotels, we always come across general managers who've been educated, for example, at EHL, the largest producer, if I may, of general managers of five-star hotels in the world. And traditionally, before EHL started expanding abroad, they were always from Europe, mostly from Switzerland. So the Swiss are known to be excellent general managers, and no matter where you go in the world, you'll always find a Swiss general manager. And my vision for future hoteliers here in the Philippines, in a decade, 2 decades, that no matter where you go in the world, you'll find the five-star properties and the innovative hospitality properties being managed by Filipinos and Filipinas.
Sorry. My turn. Hold on. I am so sorry. Thank you so much.
Okay, so
Ms. Villar mentioned that earlier, it's sort of like the Filipinos' time to shine when it came to hospitality. Now, why do you think this is the right time to venture into hospitality and hospitality education at such an ambitious scale?
Actually, the economic conditions of the Philippines and the demographics right now is in the best place that it has been in many, many years. We've had, our growth has steadily grown. We have the youngest population here in the Philippines. Our median age is 24. Compared to our ASEAN peers, I think Malaysia is 0.9, Indonesia, Thailand is 38, Vietnam is 31. So we about 60% of our 107 million Filipinos are between the age of 15 to 60. So we have a tremendous workforce now, and there's no better time to equip this workforce, to equip the young, to prepare them for jobs not just here in the Philippines, but around Asia and throughout the world than now. We've also had a stable economy for the past couple of years, which in the past we have not. And so there's a lot of economic factors that are really working for us. And demographically, in the past, Thailand has grown, Indonesia has grown, Vietnam is growing fast, like us. Now is the time to really invest in the Philippines. Now is the time to really invest in our workforce. Our workforce, the number of young Filipinos we have is something that is envied by our ASEAN peers, because there's really so much that we can do, so much that we can accomplish. And so we found in our organization at least, and we believe that perhaps, and with these industries growing, as they mentioned before, the hospitality industry is growing. The tourism in our tourism sector is now growing as well, 5 or 6% worldwide. So that, coupled with the demographics of the Philippines, there's no better time than now to really invest in this. That is what we found, and we are very confident in, and we believe that our partners feel the same.
I think it's also very important. I mean, we talk about tourism is growing, but what does it mean? I mean, tourists need places to go, otherwise tourism doesn't grow. And I think Filipino has a lot of potential, because you have a beautiful country and you have still possibilities. I mean, there are some areas which I would call over-tourist, where it's not very nice to be as tourist. And you have a huge potential in this country to develop the tourism, and the means to develop hotels, resorts, and to welcome guests from all over, at the end of the day, or from all over the planet. And that is. I mean, it's great to say but you need the place where the tourists can go, and you have this possibility. And my wish is take this opportunity.
Thank you very much. As an ASEAN peer, because I came from Thailand as well, and I like to also support what Ms. Vila just mentioned. If you compare the scale, all right, we actually are much smaller in terms of population, all right, and also the average age is quite different. We actually considering ourselves quite old, and however, in Thailand right now, we're receiving at a yearly basis for international travelers about 40 million international travelers coming to the country. And with that size and the country, we have that potential. Yesterday, I had a conversation with the Senator Vilas over lunchtime. He shared with me that the international traveler come to Philippines is only 8 million. So you can see that is actually the potential besides what Mr. Rishi just mentioned. And I think you can do it. If you look into the improving the hospitality landscape, not only from the property itself. The property needs to be there. You need to have more hotels that you can receiving more the customer, more guests, more travelers. You need to also have a skill And the other thing that I think the country are now focusing is the infrastructure. All right, you need to look into that. In Thailand, we also have a challenge in terms of our airport. Reason because we're receiving quite a lot of people, and you probably heard from the news that we're trying to connect the airport, many airports, in order to be able to receive those 40 million international travelers, and we not even count domestic travelers, right? So I can, say the same thing, that I see a lot more room to grow and the potential. And as I say, if you want to take on this opportunity, just the properties, the hotels, not enough, which that's what this is seeing. So therefore we have many projects here already. Skill is another thing, and that's where the education comes about. And not only here, we also want to export this skill abroad as well. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tabitha from ANC. Do you have any scholarship programs for underprivileged but talented students who wish to enroll in the agency?
The answer is yes, because it's not only education for those who can afford it. It is true there is a certain price tag to the education here that we offer, but it's also our mission to offer that education to those who have the talent, the passion that we spoke about earlier, and the potential to benefit from our education. So there is a significant portion set aside for scholarship students, and also the students who are currently enrolled and who are with us are also recipients of scholarships.
So if I can add to this, yes, we are talking about our students and that they are very successful in the world and whatever. But this is one level we have. At the same time, we accompany schools, like for instance in Cambodia, where really people who have not the chance we have in their life can start in this industry and learn and to do a career one day. So that is, we are on both ends, if you want, of the scale, and that is because Michel and his team, we are very, we like to help people.
The ones with the talent.
Yes, I mean, we are talking, that's something, we talk a lot of hard work, and talent, yes, that's right. But, I worked hard, I don't know, because I had always fun when I was working. I mean, not always, yes, globally, always. And that is something, this industry, you have to work hard, but it's fun to work in this industry because you work with people. You are not in a production area where you produce nails or I don't know what, and that you work with people, and that is hard work, but it's also a lot of fun.
Hi, I'm Jason from jasonbiado.net. I would like to ask any one of you about because when it comes to Dusit, it's more of a Thai or Thailand something. Can you expand more about Thai hospitality being managed by a Swiss group? Or, yeah.
Thank you for the question. In fact, what we intend to do as for Dusit Vision, we're not trying to offer or deliver Thai hospitalities to elsewhere, but we like to offer or deliver unique, gracious hospitality to the world. All right, and therefore we need to define what are those gracious characters, and also we define even the level of details of the touch point. We define 7 touch point, meaning from check-in to order handling and during stay after departure. So those are the foundation of the gracious hospitality. But wherever we are, we also include the local experience and the local culture as well. That's why we consider it as unique. There will be a Thai-inspired element, but it's not everything. If you go to D2, this is D2, at the Fort, here and you're going to D2 in Nairobi or you're going to D2 in Bangkok, then you will see a difference. Although it's actually inspired by Thai hospitality, but the service that we provide will be uniquely combined between the local experience and also the international standard as well. And the international standard come about EHL.
Thank you for that question, Jason. Also, to add, because you asked why a Swiss group, and I'll also have Professor Rocha comment, but not being Swiss myself from another country, but of course the Swiss are known for is also their rigor, and to offer quality education and sustainable hospitality as well. And that is again why I think this is such a unique combination where really we're finding synergies between the gracious hospitality from Thailand, the Filipino DNA for hospitality and the passion for hospitality, and the Swiss rigor and the Swiss quality in terms of bringing that all together to educate the future general managers. And maybe Professor Rocha, you can add a few words about Swiss rigor.
Yes. Oh, yes. That we don't want to implant some Swiss education system in Philippines. What we want to do with you is sharing 125 experience in education, in hospitality. And as I said, sharing is sharing research, is sharing how to teach, how to connect with people, connecting different members, connecting the dots between faculty members, sharing opinions, sharing cultures. And you know, the most important word in education is coherence. So you teach your students to share. You teach your students to be open-minded. But at the end of the day, you have to do exactly the same. You have to demonstrate that you're able to share with different faculty members, that you are open-minded with new ideas, that you're hearing what young people wants to do in the future. Coherence. Coherence, this is the word, the word in hospitality. And in this way, we will help the school in Manila to be better and to go faster. And that is dedicated to young people in Philippines.
Thank you very much. If I may add a little bit. When we first have the vision for this project many years ago, and I and also my advisor sit back there, Mr. Ruth Lapland, can share this as well. Our model is basically we want to integrate between three components: the head, the heart, and the hand. Right? That is actually what we're trying to do. The head part is the competency, the standard, the rigors, and everything that Professor Rocha just mentioned. So we need to have that kind of standard as from the academic standpoint. But then we need to deliver with the heart. That is where we integrate ourselves into the Swiss program, that we need to also add into the passion, the graciousness, and everything that I just mentioned. And last but not the least, we also integrate the hand. It's actually the practice that Frauke just mentioned, that this design of the fully integrated hotels and also educations would also provide an opportunity for the students to be able to practice, to learn in the real environment, in the real hotel operations, and not only in Dusit, D2 here, but also internship out elsewhere. So basically, that's how we integrate for this program, the head, the heart, and the hand.
Okay, and for our final question.
Since you've mentioned about the faculty members, can you also tell us about the faculty members? Are they all foreign, or do you also have local instructors?
Thank you, because it's ultimately about the faculty members who will do the actual education, interacting with our students. What you see here is a combination of different qualities and different strengths, and we do the same with our faculty. So our faculty is a combination of industry practitioners as well as people who have gone through the academe and who are experienced classroom teachers. And also there we see the integration of different backgrounds and different origins. So we have, for example, someone mentioned the food. We're very proud to have Master Chef Cyril Sunan, who is originally from France, but has been here in the Philippines for more than 20 years. He is our Director of Culinary Arts and in charge of all the F&B operations, all the restaurants, but also all the culinary education. Right? We have Hervé here with us, who is originally from France, but has been here in the region in Asia for over a decade. He was, before coming to Manila, based in Hong Kong. He's our sommelier, so we'll teach everything about the wines. Some of you will have seen our wine science lab. And a number of years ago, he was won the competition as for best sommelier of the world. So he's the third best sommelier in the world. So from France. But in terms of coming from the Philippines, we're very fortunate to have seasoned practitioners who were previously executive housekeepers in five-star properties, who are teaching the housekeeping skills, in terms of the finance and accounting skills. So again, we're looking at combining the best that the different worlds can offer. So that's a combination of practitioners, of academics, and from different parts of the world, including here the Philippines. Yes, thank you, Kunsupuji. Who joined us to help Hervé with all the wine courses is the best sommelier here in the Philippines, Mr. Ian. So he recently won that title in that competition, and he's part of our team and will also be working with the students and teaching the students. Thank you for reminding me.
Hello. Good morning. I just want to know if there will be a partnership with other institutions, educational institutions that offer the same or similar courses, and will there be also exchange program for both students and faculty?
That's a very good question. Thank you very much. So yes, we have more than one partner, because again, we go for the best of all worlds. So for our degree programs that are the bachelor programs certified by and recognized by CHED, our Commission of Higher Education, and their EHL, École de Lausanne, is our partner. For our culinary programs, so that really focus on the culinary skills, there our partner is Institut Paul Bocuse in Lyon, so in France, not too far from Lausanne in Switzerland actually, but the Institut Paul Bocuse, after the famous chef Paul Bocuse, is an expert and has the expertise for culinary training. So for our culinary courses, we're collaborating with Institut Paul Bocuse. Then, very good question about the exchange possibilities, both for students as well as for faculty. So yes, that is also a big advantage of working and collaborating with EHL, is our students will have the possibility either to do a semester abroad. That can be in an exchange program or going abroad for a semester, but they also have the possibility that once they have completed 2 years here at DHMC in Manila, to then transfer, if they meet the criteria, to transfer and actually complete their bachelor's degree at EHL. So there is that possibility as well. And then another possibility is at EHL, they also offer master's programs, so there is also a possibility for students who complete their bachelor's here successfully to then, if they meet the criteria, to enroll in a master's program at EHL. So that is on the student side. On the faculty side, and that's why we appreciate our collaboration with EHL, all our faculty members teaching both practical courses as well as the analytical and the managerial courses must be certified by EHL. So they go through a rigorous training program at EHL to get that certification. So the faculty members are also exposed to the latest teaching methodologies and pedagogy that EHL has been able to build up over the past 125 years. So that's a program for faculty. It's partly done here in Manila, and those all go and spend a very rigorous week at EHL in Lausanne.
Okay, thank you very much for everyone's questions, and thank you very much to our esteemed panel. Ms. Franca Gervin, of course, Professor Michelle Rochon, Mr. Andre Vinci, Mutsupaji, and of course the Honorable Congresswoman, Camille Villar. To our esteemed guests, this is but a glimpse of Dusit Hospitality Management College. There's more to see, and so our sales team is more than happy to show you around a lot of Instagrammable places. So do enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Betty.